My world was caving in on me. Sirens blared, lights flashed. Only 10 minutes ago, I was walking with my grandmother on our way to an art store when suddenly she fainted on the sidewalk. In an instant, my 14-year-old self was forced to assess how to save the life of my beloved puppy. Do I get water? Do I ask for help from someone nearby? Do I call 911? A million thoughts flowed through my mind. I called 911, and then, in a flash, I was sitting in the back of an ambulance with her, being told she was likely having a stroke. Questions were being fired at me, left and right. What happened? What hospital do you want to take her to? Has this happened before? Nothing in my life had prepared me for this moment. It wasn't until I stepped foot into the ER that I realized the true role doctors and nurses play in the treatment of patients. From the moment I stepped in, I felt the human connection. The staff cracked jokes, made me smile, and eased the tension. They recognized the stress. They saw the emotion. They understood that care in this context went beyond the textbook. They understood that a 14-year-old was navigating the healthcare system by himself on behalf of his grandmother. From the moment humans first discovered fire, humans have sought innovation. Perhaps intrinsically, the cost of this innovation often equated to a lessening of human interaction. When we were still in the caves, the advent of fire allowed us to go hunting out in the dark, yet it separated people in the middle of the night. When we later invented agriculture, it allowed for easier access to food, but yet again, it spread people out. We used to live in small villages where everyone knew each other and there was a tight-knit community. Now we live in big cities where you don't even know your neighbor. Today, we hold meetings through screens, though this often comes at the expense of in-person body language and signals you only get when being around other live people. We now stream movies at home, which is amazingly convenient. But in the past, those same movies were experienced in crowded theaters where you felt the gasp of surprise and the roar of laughter from the people sitting all around you. We order food delivered, but have we lost the magical buzz of a crowded restaurant? And the family dinner that used to be a ritual in every household that is now replaced by individual orders of food. Are we sure we prefer this? Each of these changes makes life more efficient, but are we measuring all of the costs to understand their net effect? When we remove the human connection, we are changing the recipe, perhaps for the better in many instances, but it is a different recipe. Sometimes we are changing the very thing that made a ritual special. In 1958, Harry Harlow studied baby monkeys to see why they bonded with their mothers. It was previously thought that babies bonded to their mothers solely because of food, but it turned out food was not the sole factor. They were driven instead by other factors, like comfort and care. The monkeys were given the option between two artificial mothers, one made of steel wire and the other of soft cloth. With both mothers, they could get the nutrition they sought. However, the monkeys chose the cloth mother every single time. What this experiment showed was that they were not driven by functionality alone. Comfort and care mattered. We'll come back to this. As AI and robotics become increasingly more advanced, our society is approaching the top of a metaphorical cliff, a cliff whose peak will demand we either fly or fall. We've had this choice before. Collectively, as a society, we approached the top of a similar cliff 20 years ago with the idea of social media. At the time, we glimpsed the promise of it. It would connect people all across the world who have similar interests. It would increase social interaction. These were amazing things, but we failed to see the negatives. We failed to recognize the addictive nature of the medium. We didn't understand the machine we had created. We failed to value an element of social interaction that's only present in person. We also failed to recognize how it affected the development of kids. Contrary, perhaps to its original goal, people are now often less social, more anxious, more depressed. Mental illness has skyrocketed. When you walk into a room of teenagers, you no longer see them joking, laughing, hanging out. You see them glued to their screens. Social media, in many ways, has had the opposite effect of its original purpose. We've inadvertently chosen the wire monkey. Functionality, not human connection. Instead of connecting people, social media has distanced them in many ways, the very thing we were trying to prevent. One could argue we fell off that cliff. Now, we're about to climb a new metaphorical cliff, one of automation and actuators, robots and recursive learning. And again, it'll be up to us whether we fly or fall. As this new wave of AI and humanoid robots increasingly become part of our new society, we will be challenged with this age-old trade-off: increased functionality, efficiency, and productivity in exchange for a change in the way humans interact. A large number of jobs will be disrupted. Entire industries will be reconfigured. Once we reach artificial superintelligence, why would someone hire a human when they could have ASI do the job better, faster, and more efficiently? This new form of genius will be magnificent, but will it be irreverent in the same way Nobel Prize winner Richard Feynman playing the bongos was irreverent? Many have speculated that a new freedom will emerge from humanoid robots. We will usher in universal basic income. It will give us more time with each other. It will give us abundance. But is there an ingredient in the recipe that once again we are inadvertently missing? Are we choosing cloth monkeys or wire monkeys? Human connection or bare function? For all of human history, survival required work. Are we about to break that rule for the first time? And when you wake up and no one needs your work, is the real danger not that you will be unemployed, but rather the loss of being needed itself? When I think back to the experience with my grandmother, I don't think of how efficient it was or how impressive the machines were. I remember the people, and my grandmother does too. Turns out she was just dehydrated. Perhaps that is the luxury of innovation. We don't mourn a more dangerous prior world. But all the jokes, smiles, and funny moments that eased the tension that day in the ER, that is what stayed with me. And perhaps that's what's worth exploring more. What we risk with this new world we're about to enter is a world that works perfectly, but feels empty, like a brain without a heart. Perhaps we need to be needed. As the world becomes more artificial, the most important thing is that we don't become more artificial. There's something innate in our humanity that is worth exploring and imprinting onto the abundance we may soon receive. Lest our new robotic companions become the living embodiment of the wire monkeys we are trying to resist. As a teenager who seeks to both live and inherit this new world, perhaps this is an interesting moment to stop and contemplate our new future. It will surely bring efficiency. It's also optimized, though, for its effect on our humanity. Harlow has already taught us this lesson. I am unbelievably optimistic and excited about the technology and future we are creating. Let's make this a thoughtful abundance. Let's make this a connected abundance. Let's make this a human abundance. If we get this right, this could be the puzzle piece humanity has been searching for since the beginning of time. The chance to spend time with our friends and family, do the things that matter most, and enjoy being together. Technology enabling the unimaginable. I envision a spectacular future for us all. Thank you.